This is an unboxing and review for the Optoma HD 142X. This is recently released only a couple days ago, so I figured I'd try it out. It's the 142X model. The 141 got really good reviews, so checking this one out. Cut it open just a minute ago. I did have a security seal here. It was completely taped, and it has Optoma tape on it. Everything's packed pretty tightly in here. Instructions, batteries, CD, power cable, and the remote. So here's the remote. It's backlit. We'll get to that in a minute. And the power cable. And then the projector itself on a double tape. The packaging looks pretty good. No signs of any kind of damage in shipping. Packed nice and tight. And then it's wrapped as well. Here we are, Optoma 142X. Comes with a lens cover. It's a newer shape. I think it looks a little sleeker, a little more professional than the 141. You still have zoom and focus at the top. All your power buttons and controls right here. The 141, the controls used to be on the side over here. They have now been moved to the back. Excuse me, not the controls, but the ports. So you have two HDMI ports right here, USB port, 3D audio out, and 12 volt out. And it's a HDMI full 1080p projector, and they have all those nice things reminding you right on the back there. Here's the other side. Looks like there is a good amount of space for cooling on both sides, since the back's now the panel with all the ports. So we'll remove the tape and the cap, and I'll show you the style without that as well. So it's got a pretty good shine to it there. I do like the way it feels as well. It doesn't feel cheap, but it's not too heavy. I think it's about a ½ pound lighter than the outgoing model. And here's the lens cover and the lens. And we'll get a look at it sitting on the ground, and then we'll take a look at it running. Alright, here's a look at the remote. Not a bad looking remote, but the nice thing here is it is backlit. So when you press a button on here, it will light up, and it is pretty bright. I do think it might actually be a little bright for a completely dark room, but it works. It's better than having to hunt for the remote. So I did plug it in right here and turn it on. There's a slight delay in turning it on. It takes a minute for the lamp to heat up, and then I'm projecting on the wall over here. One thing to note is this is a completely bright room. This window over here is open, and this is just on the wall. And the wall is not a white wall either, and there is texture, so keep that in mind when we're looking at the screen here. But there is quite a bit of texture on the wall. This is just for demo purposes. It's not where I'm going to be putting it permanently, but you can still see it pretty clearly. When I first started it up, it asked me to pick language, and now it's asking me to set up which way I'm going to be projecting. And now it's looking for what's connected. Okay, I do have this set up about 16 feet back. It's across the room right now. It's just sitting on a little table for testing. But it's 16 feet back, and I measured it out roughly. My tape measure was kind of bowing on the wall because it's just me doing this here. Came out to roughly a 130-inch picture. And it looks pretty good. I put a curtain up over here to limit some of the light so you can see what it would be like. But it's still bright daylight outside, so there is some daylight making its way in from these two windows over here. It looks pretty good. There is a little bit, looks like, of a bow in the middle, and I might just need to play around with a little more to get it squared up, but I really have done none of that at this point, and just wanted to give you a quick showing of it playing.
Now, over 6 billion crowd our fragile planet. But even so, there are still places barely touched by humanity. This series
You can see the wall is still textured, and there's my hand. May look a little bit blurry right now. I don't think I'm fully buffered here with my Netflix, so I think it will be even a little better than this. It's just starting up. So one other thing to note, this is the speaker with the projector, and it's pretty good quality for just a small speaker being in there. This isn't full volume, but it's still, it's enough to hear. It's obviously not going to be any kind of really entertainment center type thing, but it's enough to hear some sound. And here's a little more video. The whites look really good. This is I think 3000 lumen projector, and it does put white up on the wall really nicely.
At last, it seems that they're ready for their journey, and only just in time. For a few miles from the coast, the